That 6.2 moves. Not nearly as quick. Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video we'll be comparing a 2022 GMC Sierra 1500 AT4 to a 2022 GMC Sierra 1500 SLT with the X31 package, which is basically their entry-level off-road package, and we're going to decide which truck is the best route to go. With all that being said, a huge shout out and thank you to National GMC here in American Fork for giving me some time with the X31 XL or SLT, not XLT. Getting my brands mixed up. Link in the description down below to their inventory. Let's get into the video. Now there is going to be some driving impressions in today's video, and so I don't want the runtime to be terribly long, so this walk around is going to be pretty quick. We're mostly going to focus on the differences. Anyways, under the hood of the SLT, we have a naturally aspirated 6.2 liter V8, goes through a 10-speed automatic transmission. It is good for 420 horsepower and then 460 pound-feet of torque. Fuel economy is 14 around town and then 19 on the highway. Over here with this AT4, it has the Duramax diesel, which is a 3-liter inline 6, also goes through a 10-speed automatic transmission. Fuel economy is 20 around town and then 23 on the highway, with power outputs being 277 horsepower and then 460 pound-feet of torque. So the torque with both these powertrains is the same. The difference is this has substantially less horsepower, but it gets better fuel economy than that powertrain. Anyways, so yeah, I am a master at closing GMC hoods with one hand, by the way. But it's also because they're super easy. Now, moving on from that to the aesthetics of both of the trucks, everything pretty much looks the same when you look at it from a front end perspective. You guys can see the headlights are the same, the fog lights are the same, the grille even has the same design, but the differences come with the coloration. So notice here with the SLT, you've got a chrome here at the bottom, whereas this is body painted. The tow hooks here are blacked out, whereas with this, the tow hooks are red on the AT4. And then also notice we have a front camera here at the AT4, whereas on the SLT, we do not have a forward-facing camera. Now this is where the differences continue. So we have 33-inch tires with this, we've got 18-inch wheels, and then over here with the SLT, we have 20-inch wheels on it, and you guys can see we do have these nice all-terrain tires. They're pretty aggressive overall, but they're not nearly as aggressive as what you have on the AT4. So this one's gonna be better set for the off-road because you've got smaller wheels and you have a little bit more sidewall and more aggressive tires. 2-inch lift here from the factory. You guys can see I just took it off-road, so it's pretty dirty. Whereas this, you guys can see, is not lifted at all, and you can actually really see the difference here, right? 2-inch lift versus no lift. And then we've got off-road side steps, whereas we just have traditional side steps here with the X31 package. And then we've got the Rancho shocks as part of the AT4 package. Yes, I understand it's extremely dirty. I'm sorry, but it is what it is. And then coming over here, you can see we just have the standard shocks in the back. And then the other difference between these two particular trucks here, you guys can see with the beds of the trucks, if you look here at the AT4 versus the SLT, this SLT has a longer bed, so it's a little bit of a difference as well. And then again, chrome bumper, body painted bumper, chrome exhaust tips, blacked out exhaust tips. So this just kind of has a sportier look overall, whereas this kind of has more of the luxury look. Now, another difference has to do with the interiors of both the trucks. So you guys can see the materials here with the AT4, and then here with the seats, it says AT4 on it. You guys can see all that fun stuff. And then popping in, see the gauge cluster. This one has the camera mirror, no sunroof, and then power sliding window there for the rear. And then the camera system, this one has the full 360 camera system, as you can see. So that is really solid. But you guys kind of remember all this stuff. Heated, cooled seats here for the front, heated steering wheel as well, wireless phone charger, all that fun stuff. But yeah, that's everything here for the AT4. So we're gonna pop that off, and so yeah. Now popping over rather, to the SLT. If you look at the door panel and everything, it's just nice material-wise. And these seats, in my opinion, are just as nice. They just don't have the fancy colors that the AT4 has, so they just look a little bit more basic. And then actually popping in and starting her up, ooh, you can see everything is pretty much the same. Of course, that decides to blare. Everything's pretty much the same here in the SLT, other than the fact that this doesn't have the 360, or not Apple CarPlay, the 360 camera system, which is over here. This just has a backup camera, so that's a little bit of a difference. Still has heated and cooled seats here for the front passengers. Still has a tailgate drop down. This truck does have a sunroof with it. No camera mirror, so it just has a traditional mirror. And then it does have a power sliding window for the rear. Now let's quickly get into pricing. So the AT4 stickers for about $65,000, and then this SLT stickers for about $63,000. So there's only about a $2,000 price difference between both of them. Let's take them out and drive them. We are setting off here in the SLT first and foremost, and again, this one has the 6.2 V8. So I guess I will comment on whether or not you should get the 6.2 or the diesel in the AT4 as well after we drive that. But anyways, driving here in the SLT, first off, really smooth from a ride quality perspective. That 6.2 moves. 10 speed's really smooth. Yeah, 6.2 is amazing, and it just keeps, it's got that punch right off the line because it's got 460 pound-feet of torque, and then it just keeps moving after that. So yeah, really strong powertrain. You guys know I absolutely love this powertrain. Now the dampening on this, it's pretty good when you go over bumps and everything. You can still feel them, but you know, it does a decent job with the dampening and all that. Overall, this truck's really easy to drive. It's smooth, it's quiet, the seats are comfortable, and again, you guys saw with the interior and everything, you're pretty much getting everything that you have in the AT4 in this package. Interior wise, most of the differences are actually with the exterior. There were a few tech gadgets that the AT4 has that this doesn't have, but most of the stuff is the same with both of the trucks actually, and it's probably why their pricing is so similar. 6.2 is amazing. And if you guys are wondering, I can't tell a ride quality difference between this and the AT4 with the short bed versus long bed, and it doesn't feel like it drives any different. It feels just like any other GMC Sierra, even though this has the longer bed. But yeah, that's kind of like a quick drive just to kind of get those, or basically a refresher for me with the X31. So when I pop back into the AT4, I can kind of tell you guys, okay, this is different and that's different. So yeah, with that being said, let's pop in the AT4. So setting off here in the AT4 at the Duramax, I'm going to do the same initial route, but then I'm going to kind of change routes because I have to go somewhere else on the interstate here. So yeah, it'll be a pretty interesting little thing. But setting off, let's talk about the road noise and ride quality here with the AT4. So first off, from a ride quality perspective, you can definitely feel a difference. This feels smoother than the X31 package, that is for sure. So there is a ride quality difference between the two trucks. Not nearly as quick as that 6.2 V8, but the 3.0 does a good job. I mean, it gets up and it moves this. It's just not as exciting, I guess, as the 6.2. And yeah, going over these little bumps, you can definitely feel that the AT4, the shocks and everything, absorbs everything better. So from a ride quality perspective, this truck feels better. Definitely. There is no doubt about that. And we'll go through the dirt a little bit. Yeah, this truck feels better. So yeah, that's definitely a huge positive. Yeah, right off the line, it feels just as good as the 6.2, but once you're up and actually moving a little bit, that's where this kind of starts to lag just a little bit. And again, that's because this has substantially less horsepower than the 6.2 does, right? And so I guess we'll get like another acceleration here just for fun. And then I'll kind of sum things up with some final comparisons, and yeah, that'll be the video. Well, I guess we have to wait for the light. We'll start summing things up. So first off, exterior wise, the AT4, because the 2-inch lift, because of the more aggressive tires, the red accenting, the body painted bumpers, I think it looks better on the outside. Interior wise, the interior materials are the same, but this truck definitely, just because of the coloring and everything, spun the tires a little bit, looks a little bit better on the interior, right? The contrasted brown stitching and everything, I think looks just a little bit nicer. And then in terms of the features and everything, pretty close, right? This doesn't have a sunroof, but it has the camera mirror and has the 360 camera system, which I prefer to having a sunroof. The sunroof's nice, but I'd rather have that tech. So yeah, that's something a plus. The AT4 ride quality on this is better. Now, if you got an AT4 with the 6.2 V8, it'd actually be more expensive than this truck. So it'd probably be close to like, I believe 67,000, something around that. So it'd be like $4,000 more. $4,000, I think it's worth it. The X31 package is great, but they're so close in price. And if you're already spending over $60,000, another $4,000 to get something that looks better, is more capable off-road, is gonna be better in the snow and everything because it has more aggressive tires, is more comfortable to drive, has a nicer looking interior, I think it's worth it. So yeah, I'm gonna say the AT4 wins this comparison. The X31's great, the AT4 is just cooler. That's gonna sum things up with our quick comparison with this X31 SLT and this AT4. Again, a huge shout out and thank you to National GMC for giving me some time with the SLT. Check out the inventory in the description down below. I'll see all of you in the next video.